final round. Now, personally, I've been to 17 drift events. I've run 15 this year. And every round we go to, I always say, that was the loudest crowd we've ever had. Now today, this is actually the biggest crowd we've had all year. So, you're also going to have to be the loudest. Now our job is to entertain you. The guys on the track, that's their job too. To come out here. Once again, grandstand, boo the people over there, please. All you guys all the way around Mobile 1, are you ready for the top 16? Grandstand, you know what to do. We're going to try this one more time. Guys, are you ready for the top 16? If I have to go over to them. Right? So we've obviously put all the geriatrics down that end of the place today. So obviously we have got a stack grade. It's probably the most stack grade. I'm going to go on record in front of everybody, and I know we've got over 175,000 people watching from 26 countries online. I'm going to go on record and say that if you guys get hyped, especially you guys in the grandstand, this will be the best top 16 in IDC history. I'm going to put that out there now. The way everybody's going today, they have no fear whatsoever. So without further ado, our drivers are ready, and we are ready to send our top 16. Mondello, are you ready? I'm not even sure if I'm ready, but we are ready to send cars for the last top 16 of the year. Leading them in is the man that is also leading the Formula Drift Championship. Remember, in 3 weeks' time, James Dean goes to Irwindale, and all he has to do is qualify to win the biggest event, the biggest championship, and also become the official best in the world. And he's being chased down by 15 guys that want to take that away from him today. Guys, give it up. Put your hands over your head for your top 16. They are the best in the business. Guys, give it up for your top 16. And you know what, I'm feeling now? We're live in Mondello Park, and I think you guys are ready to make some of the biggest cheers we've ever heard in Irish drifting. And we're going to start with a very special ovation. Now, one thing we do very well as Irish people is we support our own. Whether it's rugby, football, Conor McGregor, whoever it is, when our guys do well abroad, we get behind them. About 10 months ago, we heard that this man was going to go to the biggest stage of them all, Formula Drift. Now, we all knew, right? We all knew how good he was. Everyone else in Europe knew how good he was. I heard Americans saying to me, you know, he'll struggle. He'll struggle over there. It's bank circuits. It's a different game. He goes in 3 weeks to Irwindale in California, and if he qualifies, he'll not only win the Formula Drift Championship, the highest ranking championship in the world, but he will break every Formula Drift record in history. Will you please make some noise for Mr. James Dean? Now, over the years, we've seen some people pull some crazy stunts to try and get past James Dean, and having an invisible car may just be the craziest of them all. He is out here because his car is being repaired, I presume? His car is being repaired, or else he's going to go for a passenger spin with James. I'm not sure what the tactic is, but he goes up against one of the best in the business. Give it up for the wild man, Dennis Murphy! Next up, a man who took a round off to do, I don't know, something. What was it called? Getting married. Yeah, something like that. Something got in the way. But we want to give him a huge congratulations because he's been one of the shining stars in this championship this year. Will you please make some noise for Anthony Galvin? And of course, if you're looking for a lift home, the man has 3 seats to spare on this beside him. It is the craziest car on this grid. Built as a demo car, but still doing the business at this level. Will you give it up for the animal, Brendan Stone? Our next driver has traveled all the way from France to be here. This is his 4th or 5th occasion in Ireland because he said he loves the fans here so much he cannot miss this event. Well, he went up against one of the best in the world earlier and he beat him. Anything can happen in Jaffa Fest. Please give it up for the Frenchman, Jérôme Vassia! And alongside him in the drift games, RX-7, he is one of the probably funniest men in Irish drifting, but he's also one of the best on the grid. Will you please make some noise for Mike Fitz? And we talk about representing Ireland across the world. We talk about guys that have gone out there and shone on a world level. Well, this man has brought home so many trophies over the years from America because he stayed in the game, he stayed consistent, and he stayed hungry. Returning back to Ireland for one weekend only. Give it up for Dean Carnage Carney! And you talk about the heart and the passion of this sport. What makes it different than every other motorsport? Well, you roll out here after a bad season and you do 3 practice runs and your engine blows. Conrod through the block. And in any other sport, you should be sitting right up there in the grandstand. But thanks to the community and the people behind this incredible driver, they built a 600 horsepower engine in one day. And he has made it to the top 16. Give it up for the Northern Smoke Machine, Dwayne McKeever! Rising stars, that's what the IDC is all about. It's about rising stars, building new blood every year, new exciting talent. And we somehow have this conveyor belt in IDC that just keeps producing them, and one of them is standing here. Remember the name because he's going to be around for a while. Give it up for Mark McBurney! And our next announcement is a very special one because he looked back at James Dean when he was teaching him how to become a drifter. He was taught from the ground up by James Dean, and he's had mechanical issue after mechanical issue in the Irish Drift Championship, but he's fought and he's fought and he's fought, and today I can finally announce that taking the 2017 Irish Drift Championship is Jack Shanahan! And next up we have an interesting one. He has more podiums than probably most of the guys on this grid combined, but he has yet to take that top spot. Well, what a day to do it. What a place to do it in the sunshine of Jaffa Fest. Will you please get behind Team Japspeed's Shane O'Sullivan? And beside him, a man that has certainly made his name this year. He's gone harder and faster and crashed into more people than anybody else, but that's what it takes to get to the top of this game. Well, today, can he do the impossible and win here in Jaffa Fest? Will you give it up for Ollie Evans? Next up, and last weekend, he is the current and reigning British Drift Champion. He's here to take home what no one else has ever done, which is top spot for an international driver in Ireland. Give it up for the door hunter, Team Jaspie's Matt Carter. Is this seriously the battle that's lined up? Wow, okay. I didn't even see that. So you're going up against one of the shining lights and a man that when Jaffa Fest calls, he's always on the other end of the phone because this is the event he loves, this is the track he loves. And he will put this car on the line for you guys. Oh, you're against? Oh, let's see what's happening. He is in an 800 horsepower car. He's also 17 years of age. He's a shy guy, but I want everyone here not to be shy for one moment and give it up for Tomas Kiley. And another man with an invisible car. And it's a brave move at this stage of the competition. But he has come all the way from the UK. We were having a technical dispute whether putting 4 wheels off the track is included when you're flying through the air. But he's made it through to the top 16 and he's all smiles. So you please give a big Irish welcome to Martin Richards. And we didn't get to congratulate him last time, but this man from Wexford went to the final round of the European Championship in Germany and he took that trophy back for Ireland. Another man out there doing the business worldwide. Will you please give it up for Nigel Colfer? Now this is the last event of the year. This is the last my voice can definitely take of doing this every week. But we are going to leave this one on a high. And I've promised you guys, all of these 16 guys are going to make one special 2-hour event for you. They're going to put bumpers, cars, lights, engines, turbos on the line for no payment other than your entertainment. But I need everybody to make some noise. And when I say make some noise, we've had great noise in Mondello in the past. But I want something different today. I want every single person who's made it here, who's braved the weather over the weekend to make some noise. You know, this car industry, they said in the recession was going down the toilet. They said drifting was going down the toilet. Today we've got 750 of the best cars in Europe on display, had some of the best drivers in the world, and one going for a world championship. So I want everybody in the grandstand to stand up for one moment. Everybody up. Now when I give the signal, and all you guys around Mobile 1, all you guys over here that never make any noise, what I want you to do is stomp your feet, clap your hands, and absolutely scream. I mean scream. You're going to get one shot at this. For all of these guys and what they've achieved worldwide, Mondello, make some noise! This is the final round of the year. I want you to stay standing because this is, you know, it's our national event. We always play the anthem, but I think we should dedicate the next, just at the end of the anthem, let's give a little special message to James who's heading off to Formula D. Remember that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our national anthem. We would please invite you to stand.
Hello? All right, I'm in the grandstand.
More big cheeriness, but I need you guys over here to get with us. I need you guys over here to get with us. Let's hear it in Nace, Mondello. One more time, give it up for your top 16. Well, for the last time this season, gentlemen, start your engines.
Drivers head back up to the start line to get themselves ready for what it's going to be. I mean, you could just feel the energy here in Mondello Park. One of the biggest attendances we've had all year, if not in the history of the IDC. The sun is shining. We have 16 incredibly talented drivers, all gunning for that top spot. But only one of them can take home the trophy. Who's it going to be? We don't know. But you know what? In the next hour and a half, we are going to find out. James Dean versus Dennis Murphy in the first battle in the top 16. Those two guys headed straight back up to the line, and it looks as though James Dean has his car working.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie, I've got goosebumps. That was just unbelievable. This place is electric right now. That top 16 grid is stacked, and the guys here in attendance are eager to get this underway. And like you say, James Dean's car's working. Dennis Murphy's car looks like it must be on the line, ready to go for action. They are headed all the way up to the start line. I mean, this afternoon looks to bring the best driving we have ever seen in the Irish Drift Championship. And and that I think we will ever see. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen Martin Richards try to drive over Steve Biaggioni, just to get the win. I mean, it's literally crazy. Guys are stopping at nothing to try and go all the way to the podium. Will we see the streak defeated? We have 3 English drivers remaining.
Yeah, and
1
Jerome
French
Vassia.
driver, Jerome Vassia, flying the French flag. It's stacked against them.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the odds, and I mean, listen, these guys from England, Evans, Carter, and Richards, they're not to be messed with. We know that. Vassia, he's not in his own car, so you could kind of say he has a small disadvantage, but you can't count him out of the battle. He just knocked out Peter Vincek, FD, Rookie of the Year so far. So, you know what? Anything can play out right now.
Yeah, anything can happen. It was a major mistake. By Vincek, but not to take anything away from Vassia. He's going to be coming up against Mike Fitz. Mike Fitz going one more run with Kevin Quinn, and having a little bit of rub of the green for himself as well. So that will be a very interesting battle. We have McKeever versus Carney. You just know Carney would love to take that scalp, because that would be a big win against a former IDC champion. And you know what, Carney is over in FD. McKeever certainly able to compete at that level over there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's often spoke about. I mean, who are the next guys that are going to go to FD? We see James Dean go over there and absolutely dominate. Like Dave said, 3 weeks' time, that guy goes there. All he has to do, Eddie, is qualify, and he is crowned Formula Drift champion. I mean,
it's funny you say that, because Jack Shanahan, as the winner of the IDC, now has an entitlement to a Formula Drift license, as does Mark Carter, based on recent agreements that have been made. It's almost like the green card system, or the American visa system that we have. Agreements being made with the guys in Formula Drift, and Jack Shanahan and Mark Carter having that option, if they can get a sponsored drive, to go over there and compete in Formula Drift. So
we go to the start line, Eddie, and we can see James Dean, sitting there on the line, patiently waiting for Dennis Murphy to pull up behind him so we can get this top 16 underway.
Yeah, no, he will have. Is that?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, Dennis Murphy's car. Yeah, you see Dennis Murphy there, just scrubbing the tyres on that car, just getting some heat into the front, warming up the rears.
And it was at this point in the competition yesterday where drivers started having a few issues, because it got very cool and track temperatures changed quite significantly. We might see that towards the end of the day when the sun starts to go down, but that causing drivers a lot of problems with keeping the heat in their tyres. It looks as though our drivers on the line. We are ready to go to kick off our top 16 here for the final time this season. Japfest, we are go. Dean versus Murphy. The drivers wait for the marshal's order. Droney gives them the go. The green light is on. They are off the line.
Yep, James Dean to lead in Dennis Murphy for a place in the Great 8. They're coming all the way through the gears as James Dean fires that JZ S14 in, but look at Dennis
the
Murphy.
dive from Dennis Murphy.
Dennis Murphy
bumper
pushes
to
James
bumper.
Dean. Wow, Eddie, look at this from Dennis Murphy, not giving the international star an inch as they transition onto the wall.
Wow, what about that from Dennis Murphy? They are fighting tooth and nail out on the track. We're fighting for airtime, Ian. It is just incredibly exciting.
Unbelievable. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have kind of switched this up now. There's a cone on the ground. You can see that. We're going to turn these guys around. They're going to come back up to you at the grandstand to get their decision as they get out of the car, hitting with a wall of sound as they get out of those cars. Look at this from Dennis Murphy. Almost pushes James Dean off circuit into that transition into Mobile 1. Look at that. Wedged on the back of that S14. And as they transition off of 5, Eddie, watch the back end of James Dean's car. Bam! Bumper comes off. Dennis Murphy is so far in James Dean's space. He is all over him.
And let me just tell you, that was only the first half.
That was just a one
so
run.
They're not coming down to the grandstand. They're heading straight back up
to the start line.
My
bad.
But you know what?
I'm getting excited.
I'm thrilled that they're going back to the start line, because
I want to see him again.
How they made that transition into Mobile 1 is beyond me. I've seen close calls before. Judges' scores are in. And with the advantage going into the second half of this battle, very slight advantage. Dennis Murphy, judges, talk us through. Whew.
Yeah, I mean, that was incredible to watch there. Dennis really pushing hard. He made a few little mistakes, and I mean, the other two bring it back to a 5-5. Me giving a 0.5 advantage to Dennis just for that aggression. James on a good line, giving Dennis a good lead line to follow. So, hopefully James will bring a similar kind of aggression into the next round.
So we're just hearing Dennis Murphy's car heavily leaking fluids out onto the track. Our scrutineer Brian Stone told him that he needs to head back to the pits and call a 5-minute rule, otherwise he is not going out on track. So that is what he's doing. We are going to move on to our next battle. We will revisit that one. Dennis Murphy obviously being docked one championship point as well. But our next battle, which I think will be easily just as exciting, we'll see Brendan Stone taking on Anthony Galvin. But you just, the replay on the screen.
I mean, look at this. This is where the contact happened. This transition onto the wall. Look at this. And it's already, you missed it. You kind of can't see it. It's too much smoke on the circuit there.
So yeah, just hearing that he did. I think the bumper may have been loose from the original contact.
From the first nudge.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hard to tell with the amount of smoke.
Yeah, and I mean the amount of smoke. Yeah, and the speed these guys are travelling.
Yeah, and I think we're losing the run of ourselves a little bit with the excitement here, Ian. We are ready to go though with our next battle. Brendan Stone to take on Anthony Galvin. Stone as the higher qualifier is going to lead them in. Galvin to give chase. Galvin hoping to return to the final ends of the competition and bump himself up the order. He did miss the last round, which has cost him a little bit here. In terms of where he sits in the championship order. They are through the... Galvin hitting the cone, and a big understeer from Galvin as he struggles to get that grip down through the first cornering.
Yeah, massive mistake there from Galvin, but they come around Mobile 1 absolutely side to side now. Galvin trying to get this back as Stone throws it to the wall. Galvin makes a dive, but he's way offline, Eddie. This is not good for Galvin in that chase position. Yeah, Galvin making a whole bunch of errors there. You see on the initiation, looks like he grabbed a whole load of understeer. Drivers, you know what? A lot of drivers getting that, Eddie. It just goes to show you the kind of commitment that they're throwing. And look at this. Nice initiation from Stone. Galvin just drops a wheel, and then, yeah, look, massively understeers, has to reinitiate coming into clipping point 4, drops down Mobile 1, but, gets back into it. Kind of a little bit all lost, though, there.
Yeah, Galvin really with some work to do, waiting for the judges' scores to come true on that one. So Brendan dropping a wheel there just at the end as well. So, a number of errors from both drivers here. I can't imagine the judges this will be. I don't see this one being overly one-sided. Yeah, and you just see as the judges' scores starting to drop in, 6-4, 5.5 to 4.5, 5.5. Judges, back to you. Not a whole lot on that one.
Really good lead line there by Brendan up until just between clipping points 7 and 8. He didn't wash out wide enough coming around the second last corner, and kind of took a tight line. Other than that, really good lead line. Anthony, on the other hand, had a massive mistake on the first corner. He dropped the wheel on the inside at clipping point 2, then had a massive straighten and missed clipping point 3 as well. He did make up the ground, but to do that he missed clipping point 4 then as well. For the rest of the run, he was really on Brendan's door, but that was such a large mistake. If Brendan had a perfect lead line, he probably would have been up on maybe a 6.5 advantage, but with that mistake on the final corner, that brings Brendan's advantage down to 5.5 for me, and similar enough for both other judges.
So there we go.
Yeah, splitting hairs really between that, and it goes to show it's never over till it's over, and a few mistakes from Brendan Stone as well, meaning Anthony Galvin stays in the fight here. He is in the lead position. Just hearing through our marshals that Dennis Murphy has unfortunately retired from the competition, meaning James Dean will move on to the Grade 8. We will not be revisiting that one, and so unfortunate because those two fought tooth and nail, but obviously Dennis not able to solve his leaking problems. So we are ready. Second half of the Stone-Galvin battle. Galvin to lead in Stone. This one hanging in the balance. It's there for the taking. Who's going to take it through to the Grade 8 for a chance to meet James Dean?
We're about to find out, Eddie. They're off the line. It will be Anthony Galvin to lead in Brendan Stone, my bad. And look at this, huge separation straight away from initiation. Galvin firing that car into Mobile 1, and no answer whatsoever from Brendan Stone.
Yeah, Brendan Stone, I wonder was he caught napping or what the problem here is, because he just doesn't seem to have any answer for the speed line of Galvin, and Galvin showing us just what he's made of.
Absolutely speechless there, Ready, to be honest with you, hence why the wrong name called as they spin it around. Anthony Galvin looks like he's headed straight back to the pits for some reason, so nope, here he comes.
So the judges' scores are in, but we are going to bring this one down to the grandstand in front of you guys so you can cheer on your favorite driver, or just both drivers, because that's the nice thing to do. So we'll wait for both drivers to stop. Taking the win and going through to the Grade 8 is Anthony Galvin. Anthony Galvin goes through. Ladies and gentlemen, show your appreciation to both drivers. Galvin goes through to the Grade 8. He'll be coming up against James Dean, but we go to the judges for an explanation.
Yeah, that was a great run there by Anthony on the qualifying line. Brendan didn't really have an answer. No separation. It was a 7-3 to Anthony on that one.
So Anthony Galvin taking the win. Just a quick announcement to those of you who are watching on the bridge. Can you please move down off the steps of the bridge? We have been asked by Mondello. They've told us we are not to release any more cars until people have removed themselves from the bridge. Please do stand on flat ground. And the fence down at Mobile 1 as well. So I know it's packed. Please do try and get as good a viewing position as possible, but do so in a safe manner, because we will not be releasing any more cars until people are safe.
Well, so we move it along, Eddie, and I'm still gobsmacked about that Brendan Stone napping on the line. Did you know it just caught me so unaware? I thought he was going to come off the line and absolutely nail it to the door of Galvin's car, but it just.
Yeah, but I mean, all credit to Galvin there. He didn't put a foot wrong on that run,
absolutely
and
flawless.
He's going to be coming up against James Dean. Could we see Galvin taking down James Dean?
Wow. So we are back on the line, ready to go for our next battle, which we will see Jerome Vassia take on Mike Fitz. Not sure how this one's going to go. Mike Fitz has been driving much, much better this afternoon.
Yeah, look, I think Vassia getting a little bit lucky in his last battle. A big error from Vincek, but and look, this been caught left, napping.
Again?
Maybe just doesn't have the pace here for Mike Fitz. Mike Fitz on a really strong line here in the Drift Games FC or X7.
Yeah.
Vassia starting to come back into this one though, Ian.
Yeah, Jerome Vassia now starts to try and rein in that Drift Games RX7, but a little wobble there coming into the wall, clipping point 7. And as they bring it around the final turn, Vassia very, very shallow and straight across the finish line, Eddie.
Yeah, shallow, but judges saying that they will allow the chase drivers to drop a wheel at that point of the track just in order to go door to door. Mike just a little bit wide there, but I think overall, yeah, and the scores dropping in, a big advantage here, 7.3 to 2.7 in the favour of Mike Fitzgerald. Judges, talk us through it.
Yeah, massive gap there. Really, it all comes down to proximity. Mike having a pretty much perfect lead line all the way. Jerome, massive gap on initiation. We heard from the start marshal that he missed a gear or was just left behind from the start line, and then was cutting the course to try and make up the ground. Missed clipping point 3, 4, 5, and 7 as well, just to try and make up that little bit of proximity. But strong advantage of a 7.5 for me to Mike going into the second run.
So half of the work done there for Mike Fitzgerald as he lines up in the chase position now against Jerome Vassia. Jerome, yeah, maybe missing a gear on the straight.
Yeah, I mean, when the camera went back to the start line, you could see that we only caught the back of Vassia's car coming off the start line. Mike Fitz had already gone 2-3 car lengths ahead of him. So, yeah, I mean, a gear shift issue maybe. Well, we're about to find out, as now Jerome Vassia is in the lead position. Mike Fitz gives chase. They get the green light to go. And we are ready to find out who is going to take another place in our Grade 8, Eddie. They're off the line.
Yeah, thumbs up from the marshal and the green light. Here we go, Vassia versus Fitz.
Yeah, look at this, Mike Fitz all over the back end of that SR20 powered Corolla, and a big understeer there for Jerome Vassia, dropping wheels off circuit. Mike Fitz keeps his cool though, drops down way on the Mobile 1 to keep out the way of Vassia. And Vassia with big problems, beached on the gravel as Mike Fitz takes it to the wall and round the final turn.
Yeah, Mike Fitz finishing the run in style there. The scores do come in.
Yeah, and a 10-0 there advantage to Mike Fitz.
Yeah, I think that one pretty much calls itself, and we just await to see can Jerome be recovered
Not sure
from
what
the
happened
track.
there, Eddie. I mean, he fires it in on good angle, but then he grabs understeer
Big
straight again,
understeer there, and then shoots forward.
yeah, he tries to initiate on clipping point 3, and it all kind of goes wrong from there. He's carrying miles too much speed into mobile 1, clipping point 4, and yeah, that's just sends
Mike
him
Fitzgerald
straight
just says, no, staying away from that.
Fitzgerald does a very clever thing. He drops down onto mobile 1 on the inner line just to keep out of the way.
So you can see our cameraman Kieran from See It Live on the back of the recovery truck. We're going to get some
Going to get some behind the scenes. I'm going to be down there in a bit, Eddie. We're going to get this top 16 out of the way. Then I'm going to hand back to Dave Egan, who's going to take you through your grade 8 all the way to your final. And I'm going to be in the pits. I'm going to get that camera and that microphone in some faces of the guys that are really under pressure.
You're going to ask the difficult questions.
I'm going to be down there on the line when they crash, and I'm going to...
So, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Fitz is down in front of you, and we can confirm going through to the grade 8 will be Mike Fitzgerald. Give him a round of applause as he heads back to the pits. No need to go to the judges on that one.
No, wheels off track. Eddie is an instant 0 and hands the win to Mike Fitz. So we're just waiting to get Jerome Vassia off of the circuit safely. Yeah, I mean, nice day to be at the beach, Eddie, but not that kind of
yeah, he just, you know, forgot to bring the sun cream and forgot to bring the beach towels. So you can just... Has our recovery truck been beached?
Yeah,
surely not.
I think our recovery truck is now stuck in the gravel, and we have multiple gravel entrants.
This is like one of those videos you see where you need 3 or 4 different trucks to pull. You get another truck down there, then it will get beached.
Yeah, it looks like our recovery truck's beached, Eddie.
So the drama continues. You just never know what you're going to get.
You just never know what's going to happen at an IDC final. I mean, you're flying cars and recovery trucks stuck in the gravel. Where do we go from here, Eddie? What does 2018 bring? David Egan needs to seriously consider how he can better this now.
Well, what he has said is that he's struggling to top it year on year, because how do you top it? And I think one thing that is that I found is that people are... Oh, there goes the bumper.
Oh, wow.
The bumper...
Oh, the toe and I was attached to.
A calamity of errors here, it would appear. But
Chris Brady in the stands now weeping away.
Yes, what are you doing to my poor little Corolla?
His poor little Corolla going through the paces this weekend by Jerome Vassia.
Yeah, but in the standard ever increasing here in Ireland and UK drifting, how do you continue to top it? Because you almost become a little bit numb to it. Back in the day, you know, we maybe weren't as spoiled. We had James Dean, and he'd come out and he'd put in a run of 90 in the 90s. And it was very few others that could really match that.
Yeah.
Now so many drivers are scoring high in the 80s and the low 90s, and we're seeing run after run where guys are just putting it inch perfect on the wall. So we're a little bit spoiled for it. So how do we top that? I don't really know. But Dave Egan vows to push the series further each year, and he says that he has some tricks up his sleeve for next year. He will be announcing those in a few weeks' time at the prize giving at the award ceremony for the IDC Awards night, and that will, of course, will be held here in Mondello Park, and be some very interesting reading then when he releases all of that online to see what is going to be going down for next season. So you can see it looks as though our recovery vehicle has managed to get that Corolla of Jerome Vassia out of the beach.
And our new feature, Eddie.
Our new feature.
Yeah, we have a live
eye
feed,
in the sky.
A live feed drone. The eye in the sky, working absolutely perfect. And look at this. I mean, what a view.
Yeah, I think this is possibly one of the coolest additions to a drift event that we have seen in a long time. Quick mention to our sponsors while we wait for Jerome Vassia to be removed from the track: Stone Motorsport, Origin Labo, Achilles Radial, Westlake Tyres, MixedCarriage.com, Brian James Trailers, Zestino Tire UK, JDM Distro, VP Racing Fuel, Samco Sport, The Detailing Shed, Monster Energy, and Link Engine Management. Guys, hit him with a wall of sound as he exits the circuit for the final time this year. Big round of applause for the French phenom Jerome Vassia. So Jerome Vassia bows out of the competition. Mike Fitz progresses through to the Grade 8. We have three drivers in the Grade 8 already, Ian, and we are about to see who else is going to go through. Dwayne McKeever coming up against Dean Carney now.
Yeah, I mean, McKeever is really going to want to take down Carney right now. Carnage, you know, FD superstar and an Irish champion. This guy is going to want to beat him. McKeever going to be looking to take him down in spectacular fashion. And we know that both of these guys are going to push really, really hard.
Yeah, the question is, does he have the car to stay with Dwayne McKeever? Because Dwayne McKeever, in his normal car, they've rebuilt this engine, or well, it's a brand new engine and fully mapped and everything in the last 24 hours. Dean Carney, though, in his demo car, this car, not his his standard competition car, and this really kind of just designed to put on a few shows, do a few burnouts, donuts, and different things like that, and drift displays. Not exactly built for top level competition. No,
but I mean, you know what? He's qualified well. He's got through top 32. He's in top 16. But now he's probably got the hardest competitor on the grid right now, as Dwayne McKeever is, you know, a force to be reckoned with. The Northern Smoke Machine is not someone you take easily. Ex-IDC champion. You know, this guy's got a lot of seat time under his belt. We get the green light from our track marshals. We are good to go. The track is clear. They get the green light. They're off the line. It is Dwayne McKeever to lead in Dean Carney for a place in the Grade 8. Who's going to take it? We're about to find out. Look at this from McKeever. Nice fast initiation. Carney with no answer at the moment as McKeever throws on big angle into Mobile 1 now. Here comes Carney. Starts to reel in the Northern Smoke Machine as they transition in front of the judging tower and onto the wall. Not as close as we had expected to see though, Eddie.
No, Carney with no real answer for Dwayne McKeever, but Dwayne ever so fast and so comfortable on this Mondello layout. They will head back up to the line, and Carney with a little bit of thinking to do here.
Yeah, I think, you know what, for me, I think Carney gave McKeever a little bit too much room. You see, just Dwayne squeezed the accelerator before initiation and just pulled a little bit more distance on Carney, but Carney, I think he gave him a little bit more of room that he thought he was going to pull him in maybe through Mobile 1, and it didn't kind of happen.
It didn't happen for him. That being said, McKeever's line not perfect in the early stages either, just a little shallow on some of the clipping zones. We await the judges' scores to drop in. They are coming in now, and it looks as though, yes, all the judges scoring in favour of Dwayne McKeever. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I mean, Dwayne's lead line was good enough, but a few little mistakes there. But both Dwayne and Dean making similar mistakes. Dean not really giving any battle to Dwayne until right at the end, and that was all from cutting the course. So Dwayne going into the next run with a fairly strong 6.5 or thereabouts advantage.
There you have it, Dwayne McKeever taking a strong advantage into the second half of this run, and Dean Carney with some work to do here if he wants to keep this weekend going.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Carney just needs to go flat out and not try and hold back a little bit. He can't play any kind of games with McKeever, because McKeever in that chase position, and he is absolutely deadly, and we know he's going to stick it to the door. They're off the line. We're about to find out who's going to take it as they go through the chicane and come through the gears all the way down to the start line. Look at McKeever all over the back end of Carney's Toyota Chaser. Bouncing on the curb, big transition, Eddie. Yeah, sheer aggression from Dwayne McKeever, and he's really putting the boot down here right on the door as they transition of that big Chaser. Look at this from Dwayne McKeever, door to door, pushing Carnage around the track. And as they cross the line, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the Northern Smoke Machine and Dean Carney. We're getting a replay here because that one was, look at this aggression, Ian. Yeah, unbelievable aggression from McKeever on initiation. Got right up on the door, was on a perfect line to chase. And in briefing, judges saying that if he was on that nice tight line and on the door on initiation through clipping point 1, 2, and 3 in the chase position, you get rewarded more points. And look at this, McKeever again sticks it on the side of that Oracle light into a Chaser and pushes McKeever, Carney all the way through the line. So, Eddie. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for both drivers, Dwayne McKeever and Dean Carney. But the judges' scores are in, and we can reveal going through to the Grade 8 is the Northern Smoke Machine, Dwayne McKeever!
Dwayne McKeever goes through to the Great 8. We go back to the judges for an explanation.
Yeah, Dean's lead line wasn't the cleanest. He was dialed on massive angle on the initiation and also missed clipping point 3. Other than that, fairly solid lead line, but Dwayne was absolutely on his door the whole way. It really just comes down to sheer aggression and proximity, and Dwayne coming away with a large advantage and taking the battle overall.
So there you have it from the judges. McKeever takes down Carney, and we have a massive battle ahead of ourselves, because you know what? This Shanahan, he has the championship. He's coming up against McBurney, but if he wins this one in, he is going to win the biggest prize that we have ever had up for grabs in Irish drifting.
Yeah, I mean, if Jack Shanahan beats Mark McBurney right now, Eddie, he takes the Super Series. He takes home that brand new Brian James trailer worth €10,000. What a weekend for the Shanahans. Pro-Am champions, got the 2 JZ from JDM Distro. Jack Shanahan taking the Pro Championship. Can the Shanahans take the Super Series? We're about to find out, Eddie. They are on the line. We get the thumbs up from our track marshal.
So Shanahan's taking home 3 championships this weekend if Jack Shanahan beats Mark McBurney. But Mark McBurney might want to have a say in that.
Listen, Mark McBurney has been a guy that you wouldn't want to mess with. Kind of a bit of an underdog in the scene, comes through, but you know what? Every now and then Mark McBurney comes through and takes out some serious contenders. They're off the line, we're about to find out.
Look at this already from McBurney, right on the back bumper, throwing it down.
Shanahan absolutely foot to floor.
Big dive down from McBurney, but McBurney's off the track. McBurney goes off the track. Shanahan completes the run.
Unbelievable, Eddie. Mark McBurney shutting it down on clipping point 4. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. He's out of the car. Mark McBurney.
Yeah, you can just see getting rid of that front bumper. But McBurney going so hard against Jack Shanahan.
What happened here, though? Was it the speed that McBurney sent into clipping point 4 into Mobile 1? Look at this, on the curb, trying to gain that proximity, throws the car in.
Do you know what? A massive dive, and I think
I just don't even know.
I think it might have been the speed. I think he felt like he was going to have to throw on big angle to try and slow himself down, and then just backed out of that as well. So very hard to tell.
Yeah, very, very hard to tell. So obviously the scores drop in, and it is a 10-0 advantage to Jack Shanahan. So we're going to wait for Mark McBurney to get back to the line. And yeah, Eddie, I mean, can the Shanahans, Jack Shanahan now, he's not the kind of guy to sit back and relax and let Mark McBurney walk away with this. He's going to just try and stick it on the door right now.
Yeah, guaranteed. Certainly not going to hang back. His championship has been won. He knows the worst that can happen here is that he goes one more run, so why not stick it on the door, put on a show for the fans. That's what Jack Shanahan is all about, and that is what it's that driving style that's got him to where he is at this point in his career. Hard to believe that young man, only 18 years of age, and already what the things that he's achieved. A 3-time champion now at 18 years of age is just phenomenal.
Yeah, so we can see those guys are back on the start line, so it will be Mark McBurney now to lead in Jack Shanahan. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if Jack Shanahan takes this win, he wins the Super Series, taking away that brand new Brian James trailer. He takes the Pro Championship. Connor Shanahan, his younger brother, takes home the Pro-Am Championship. This could be the weekend that the Shanahans dreamt of. We are ready to get the thumbs up from the drivers and our start line marshal. We get the green light, Eddie. They are good to go. It's McBurney to leading Shanahan for a place in the Great 8 and the Super Series on the line.
Yeah, down the stretch they go. Oh, look at this aggression from Shanahan from the off, dives down the inside onto the door of McBurney.
Unbelievable dive from Shanahan. Now he starts to apply the pressure in Mobile 1 as they come through clipping point 5. Shanahan reeling in the back of that drift shed S13 as they fire the car to the wall. McBurney nice and deep, just running the back end along the wall. Door to door across the line. Unbelievable. Mondello, give it up for Jack Shanahan and Mark McBurney.
Yeah, Shanahan and McBurney, McBurney flawless in the lead run, but look at the entry again from Shanahan. Initiates perfectly behind them and just goes so aggressive right from the off.
Unbelievable. Look at this. Door to door through clipping point 2, and then, yeah, I mean, just flawless. McBurney on a very, very good line, though, giving Shanahan the opportunity to get nice and close. So, ladies and gentlemen, as they pull up in front of you at the grandstand and they get out of the cars, hit them with a wall of noise. Those guys driving unbelievable all weekend. So we can confirm, Eddie, the scores drop in, and taking the win and going through to the Grade 8 and taking the Super Series Championship is Jack Shanahan! Unbelievable. Give it up for Mark McBurney. What a drive, that guy. Someone to keep your eye on in 2018. We go back to our judges.
Yeah, great chase there by Jack. To be fair, Mark put in an epic lead run. Like we always say, you can't have a good chase without a good lead, and that was an epic qualifying run by Mark in front of him. You know, Jack took an advantage on the second one, but not as much as it would have been if Mark had been offline.
So there you have it. All the prizes going home to the Shanahan family. Maybe they'll take a year out next year and let somebody else give the rest of the grid a chance.
Not going to happen. We move it along to the start line where we see Shane O'Sullivan now to lead in Oliver Evans. Oliver Evans looking strong right now and doing it for England. Can he progress through into this Grade 8?
You know what? Sully's going to take him down here.
Sully's looking for that top step on the podium. He's yet to get it. They're off the start line, Eddie. Here they come. Shane O'Sullivan to throw it in, but look at Oliver Evans all over the back end of Sully's S15.
Yeah, but Oliver Evans losing a little bit of ground here, Ian.
Yeah, a big understeer there from Evans, but Evans making the dive again, Eddie.
Yeah, Evans right on the door here, applying the pressure to the former BDC champion. Now, what can he do in the final stages? Door to door, that's what. Evans all over. Oh, and a correction there from Sullivan, and a big straighten across the line, Ian.
Unbelievable drive there from Oliver Evans. Again, though, Eddie, making that mistake on initiation, just getting a little bit of understeer. Just it goes to show you the speed they're carrying. Watch this. Big flick. Look, tagging on the back end of Sully's car. Almost made contact as Sully comes down off of clipping point 2 and then makes the dive in Mobile 1. Drops clipping point 4, though, Evans. It's not the best lead, but you know what? The proximity may be made up for some of those points.
Yeah, look, a sketchy one there. And look, this is where it goes wrong for Sully. Just a bit of a twitch there.
Yeah.
And big straight and then across the line. Judges' scores do come in. And nothing between it. A dead heat, 5-5. Judges, talk us through it.
Absolutely epic lead run there by Shane, really on the qualifying line the whole way throughout. Inch perfect, really. Ollie started off really aggressive, but I think he was a little bit overly aggressive, ended up missing clipping point 2, 3, and then dived past clipping point 4 then to try and make up the proximity that he had lost between 2 and 4. Had great proximity around Mobile, but then had to miss clipping point 6 and 7 then to maintain that proximity as well. So flashes of brilliance, but you really can't be cutting the qualifying line to maintain that proximity. We want to see him on that qualifying line. So he did have proximity, but those mistakes bring it back to a 5-5, especially coupled with Shane's really good lead run.
So there you have it, this one hanging in the balance, and Shane O'Sullivan's turn now to be the aggressor in the chase position. He needs to go heavy against Oliver Evans.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be able to give Evans an inch. Like we say, you give him an inch, it takes 4 miles. So Evans on a very, very good qualifying line as he throws it in. No proximity from Sully, but he starts to draw him in now as they come in on clipping point 3. Oh, and Sully drops wheels and transitions too early. He starts to make a dive on Mobile 1, but he's offline, Eddie. This is not looking good for Shane O'Sullivan.
No, certainly not. Not to the start of this run that O'Sullivan wanted, but he is there with the proximity towards the end. Will that claw some of the points back in his favour as he loses ground again, though, on transition? And Oliver Evans crosses the line. Will the Washloo driver take it through to the Grade 8 where he would meet Jack Shanahan?
Again.
Those
guys have battled all year.
That would be interesting.
Look at that. Sully drops wheels on clipping point 3. He has to transition too early. Puts him on a wrong line coming into Mobile 1. Oliver Evans, you know, not flawless. Makes a couple of mistakes, but it's a very good lead run compared to Sully's first lead run. So not sure how this is going to go.
Yeah, judges still discussing this one as well. Scores do start to drop in now. And this one is tight, but we can reveal. And guys, as they get out of the car, give both drivers a big round of applause. Shane O'Sullivan, Oliver Evans. The judges' scores are in, and we can reveal going through to the Great 8 is Shane O'Sullivan! Shane O'Sullivan takes it through to the Great 8. Oliver Evans bows out of the competition. We needed explanation for our judges because that one looked really close.
That was a very clean chase there by Shane. The only error I saw him make actually is just very, very slight wheel drop at 3. But he still was within 3 metres on the transition to be able to be slightly off 4. But he maintained proximity. But the strongest point for him really was the last 2 wall clips, because he was right on his door, transitioning right at time and everything else. Now, because of the wheel drop, he only took a slight advantage of a 5.5 from me, but just enough to take the win.
So there you go, O'Sullivan taking the win, and he will face Jack Shanahan in the Great 8.
Which means, at this point, our next battle, the winner of this battle will be the only remaining international driver in the competition. Meaning one of these drivers is going to have their work cut out to try and take that top spot and take that streak, but certainly up to the task. Carter versus Richards. These two guys know each other a little bit too well, probably, from the BDC.
Yeah, I mean, they got in a mix last weekend at BDC final. A little bit of damage taken on by Richards. What have they got now as they relive this battle? Richards fires his car in. Carter gives him a little bit of room as Richards comes down nicely onto clipping point 3. Now Carter starts to rein in. The Driftworks driver sticking that Maxxis tyres. Team Jap Speed R32 on the door of Richards' car. Nice transition back onto the wall from Richards, but Carter deviates offline. He's way offline now, is Carter, as he straightens massively coming to the final turn.
Yeah, I think that was a tale of 2 halves, really, as it looked as though Richards had a sketchy first half, but then cleaned it up on the second half, and Carter with some errors on the second half of that battle, but had a much better first half to the battle.
Yeah, I mean, Carter, for me, just made a whole bunch of errors. Look, didn't transition onto clipping point 3 deep enough, misses 4, he's way down on the bank on Mobile 1. Starts to get good proximity, but you know what? That's sacrificed by dropping off a line, and you can see here, completely misses the wall run, completely misses clipping point 8. It's not the tidiest.
No, certainly not the tidiest, and just not perfect from either driver. Both drivers just, bringing up the error count a little bit high. It all counts for so much at this point in the competition as well, and a chance to be the one that takes down the streak. The scores are in with a very slender advantage of 5.5 to 4.5. It's Matt Carter. We go to the judges.
Yeah, really close battle there. Richards had a really good lead line. Carter had flashes of proximity, but he was off some of the clipping points. He was sacrificing line a little bit, especially over the first half of the track, to try and get on Richards' door. He really closed the gap though around Mobile 1 corner, but he did have to sacrifice the clip 4 to get in on Richards' door. For the rest of the track, he did have good proximity, but Richards had a really good lead line to allow him to chase like that. Drop back off again between 8 and 9 a little bit, but just enough for a bare 5.5 advantage going into the second run.
So we had this one hanging in the balance for the second half of the battle. We switched them around. Carter to lead in Richards.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Richards put in a very, very depth-defying chase run against Baggsy, maybe too deep. Baggsy was kind of offline, so big impact. What has Richards got as he chases down former BDC champion Matt Carter, and huge separation as Carter fires that Jap Speed R32 in. Richards really needed to try and gain some ground here, Eddie, but no answer as he starts to get on Carter and Mobile 1.
Yeah, they switch it back now. Look at this, the proximity here from Richards as he tries to apply the pressure. Oh, Carter just knocking that boot off the wall, getting a little bit out of shape, but as they cross the line, look, a heavyweight battle there, but again, just some slight errors from both guys.
Yeah, I mean, Martin Richards, look at this, he gets caught napping a little bit on initiation. Carter pulls a massive lead coming through clipping point 3. He's on a very, very good line as Carter as he transitions into Mobile 1. And you know what? Vicious sacrifices clipping points and line to try and gain that proximity, which is not what the judges were after.
Yeah, I think Carter could have been a
Look
little
at
bit
that wall
deeper
run,
into
though,
that third clipping zone as well. Maybe gaining a slight advantage due to not getting out as far into that as the judges would be looking for. We wait for them to make the decision and drop the scores in. So just waiting for the smoke to clear, and the drivers are making their way back down in front of the grandstand to get the result.
So Eddie, the scores drop in. Ladies and gentlemen, as they get out of the car, give these guys a round of applause, travelling all the way from the UK to try and take down your streak. Unbelievable driving, but the scores are in. And taking the win and going through to the Grade A is your 2017 BDC champion, Matt Carter! Matt Carter gets the winner, goes through. Give it up for Martin Richards. What a drive this weekend. We go to our judges.
Yeah, I mean, Matt putting in a good lead run there. And Martin, seemed like trying his best, but there's massive separation between 1 and 4. Martin dives in from there, does gain some sort of proximity, but missing clip 4, 5, and 6, which we really can't reward gaining the proximity from that. So Matt taking a little advantage there for the good lead run and taking the battle overall.
So Eddie, there we go, and we move it along to the final battle in our top 16, which will be Tomas Kiley to take on Nigel Colfer.
Yeah, and what a battle this is shaping up to be. 1 spot left in that Grade 8. Kiley or Colfer, I mean, either one of these two guys, it's impossible to pick it because both guys have just been on podiums so many times in their careers. Colfer obviously more often because he's been around for so much longer. But I mean...
Yeah, I mean, Nigel Colfer, multiple European podium.
So guys, we're not going to release any more cars until we've asked you once not to be on the bridge.
Well, Eddie, they come off the line, and it will be Tomas Kiley to lead in Colfer, and Colfer is right with Tomas Kiley as they fire it in, but Colfer drops wheels and comes off circuit. Kiley shuts it down. So we go back to the replay. Not sure what happened there. Tomas Kiley with a nice clean initiation. No contact from what we can tell. Just looks like Colfer carrying miles too much speed. And yeah, I mean, Tomas Kiley is kind of on the wrong line there, ever so slightly. Was it enough to deviate? Was it enough to force Nigel Colfer to go off track? Our judges pulling this one apart, Eddie.
Yeah, judges pulling this one apart. Just as I started to announce, guys, attention to the people who are on the footbridge over the main straightway. You are interfering with our live stream wires. If you do not get yourselves off the steps, you will be removed from Mondello Park, and we will not be releasing any more cars until you do it. So please get down off the steps of the bridge.
So judges wanting to see one more replay of this battle. Just not sure what happened there. Was Tomas Kiley kind of offline? Did he make Colfer lead?
It does look as though Tomas is coming at that third clipping zone at a funny angle.
Yeah,
Was it enough to cause Colfer to go off track?
I mean, Kiley carries, look at this big angle onto clipping point 3. I mean, yeah.
And you can almost see where he is.
Colfer would be in that position to try and chase. So yeah, I mean, he's off at clipping point 2. So,
and look, Kiley's not able to finish the circuit from where he is there.
So scores come in.
Yeah, we are going to need an explanation on this one. 10-0 advantage to Tomas Kiley.
Yeah, Tomas, we're just around the Tomas goes through clip 1, slightly off clip 2, but more or less tags the edge of the box. He's obviously carrying too much pace and makes an error, but we were watching at Nigel and we were trying to figure out, did Nigel go off because of Tomas slowing, but it doesn't appear to be the case because there's smoke off his tyres all the way out to 3, and even though he's probably getting himself into a spin, Nigel goes off first onto the grass. I don't think the error was forced him. I think he came in as hard as he could in behind Tomas and just went off on his own. And the rule here is whoever scores a 0 first, loses the run. So Nigel had 4 wheels off the track before Tomas spun.
So there you have it. Nigel Colfer heads back to the start line with a 10-0 disadvantage now to Tomas Kiley.
Yeah, and not in the best position to try and overturn it either, Eddie. He's in the lead position now as Tomas Kiley sits dangerously behind him, ready to get the kill. They're off the line. It is Nigel Colfer to lead in Tomas Kiley for the final place in our Grade 8.
Yeah, can he overturn it? Can he force a mistake from the front? Not so far. Kiley doing a strong job here in the chase position, just keeping enough distance, but still keeping Colfer on the edge of a string. Colfer throws it back nicely onto the wall and doing everything he can, in fairness to him, but he just can't shake that young gun, Tomas Kiley.
Yeah, I mean, Tomas Kiley did an outstanding job there chasing down Nigel Colfer. Nigel Colfer, pretty good lead run, nice, fast, snappy initiation there as they come in. Kiley just gives him a little bit of room to breathe. Kiley on a much nicer line, but drops off clipping point 4, gets nice and low on the bank to try and gain a little bit of proximity. Doesn't work because they still have separation as they transition onto the wall.
So judges' scores drop in. We await for the drivers to come back down in front of the grandstand. Guys, hit them with a wall of sound as they get out of their cars for the final time this year that they will be in competition. One of them's going home early though, and one of them's going through to the Grade 8 to face Matt Carter. And I can reveal, going through to the Grade 8 is Tomas Kiley. Tomas Kiley goes through to the Grade 8. We go back to the judges for an explanation.
Well, there wasn't anything to overturn the 10-0 from the last run. I think that was fairly, even run between the two of them. So, we scored that 5-5. Not enough proximity from Tomas to really gain advantage. And Nigel doing a good run there. So, 10-0 from the last run sets that up for a win.
So there you have it from our judges. Not enough to overturn that 10-0. And look who it is.
Yeah.
Ian has just
disappeared.
Turned into a dark-haired
Irish person.
Stressed out.
No, I think we've had crowd control problems, Eddie, and it's almost good problems because the place is heaving. But I'm back for the top 8 because my voice, it's been 15 events this year, Eddie, and it is starting to take a toll.
Yeah, and you know what, Dave? It was a good thing that you decided to sit it out because mine is wearing thin here. It has been an incredible... You've been watching it, though.
I've been sitting right in front of you guys.
Yeah.
Incredible action from start to finish today. 8 drivers remaining, 7 Irish and 1 guy from the UK, but he is the current BDC champion. We're looking at the possibilities going forward here, and it's going to be heavyweight versus heavyweight. The track looks, conditions are perfect, grip is perfect, there's no excuses for the drivers. They all say we can push 110%, there is no issues. And now we go to the Grade 8. James Dean, Anthony Galvin. Now remember, Anthony Galvin sat right down the order at the start of the year. No one gave him a shot. Came to round 1, almost won the whole damn thing. He goes up against a man that he would not like to be seeing lining up, which is James Dean, but the pressure on James Dean to perform at this level, he always says Mondello is not his most comfortable track. Anthony Galvin could make history here if he takes down, let's argue, pound for pound, probably the best driver in the world. Definitely the most decorated, definitely the most podiums.
Definitely one of the tallest.
For sure, it's Galvin.
And here we go off the line. Galvin to give chase. Can he put it on the door? Contact down the straight already. Contact down the straight on initiation, but it doesn't stop them. Galvin right there with James Dean as they throw it back. Oh, but Galvin pulls big angle.
Galvin makes a mess of it, Eddie. He tries to go a little bit too aggressive, and this sometimes could be what happens when you go up against James Dean. People think you got to be superhuman to go past him. Maybe you do, but you also don't want to make a mess of the run. And we see so many zeros against James, that pressure, that throw it all on the line attitude. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
But you know what, Dave? I want to see the contact down the straight again because the judges did say in briefing this morning that the lead driver can only use one half of the track to initiate.
Yeah,
look at this. Oh, was Galvin just too aggressive?
Well, is James Dean over halfway on the track? That's what the question they're going to ask here because he's not allowed to go over halfway on the track. It does look like he's borderline, Eddie, borderline over.
Very borderline.
So they're going to look at this from a different angle. Now, judge that for yourselves at home. The center line of the track, James Dean cannot pass that. Is he past it? Oh, it's very marginal.
Yeah, that's a very hard one to call.
Now, it's also got to be said that Galvin is going to try and, go as close as possible. He probably was pushing a little too hard. The contact, they still kept it going from that point on. But Galvin takes, I think he's unsettled a little bit there, Eddie. And as he tries to transition here, he just puts a way too much angle on.
It is important to note as well that they do say in the briefing that the chase driver should be initiating behind the lead driver.
That is also a very good point, Eddie. Listen in briefing. Geez, look at you.
Yeah.
Starting to catch on.
Yeah.
So there you have it, yeah. So, I mean,
So judges' scores drop into Dave, rather.
I'm not even driving.
No.
It is going to be a 10-0 advantage to James Dean from all the judges. A fairly obvious one there. Galvin spinning out. Nothing more sinister than that. And he now carries a huge weight on his shoulders and the weight of a future world champion on his back bumper. Dean might have some fun with this one, I think.
Yeah, look, he's notorious for his close driving. It's his chase driving which has him where he is in the Formula Drift Championship, and he is about to.
He hasn't got a clean chase all day, so he's got to get one under his belt if he is going to progress here. So that, don't count out Anthony Galvin. He's got to put in the run of his life here. And look at James Dean as he hunts the door of Anthony Galvin's car, and you can almost not see James Dean as they pass in front of us here. Galvin on a wild line there, but look at Dean adjust, and there he is, and that's why he is the machine.
Look at that initiation, Dave. Inch perfect as he transitions behind Anthony Galvin. He knows he doesn't have to go too aggressive, but I mean that's probably about a 75 to 80% aggression there from James Dean. But Anthony chasing that one a little bit, missing a couple of clips.
He did what he had to do,
and the scores are in, Dave.
Yeah, we'll let the drivers get back in front of the grandstand, get through that cloud of smoke, and it is an issue here at the moment. The smoke obviously not clearing, no wind, no rain. Where are we? It's not Mondello Park anyway, because this place is one of the coldest places on earth, and today it is absolutely beautiful. But as they pass in front of you guys, give them a big round of applause to Anthony Galvin and James Dean as they head back in front of the grandstand. Grandstand is lit today. They are having a lot of fun in the sun. But we have results in, as you mentioned, Eddie. And let's see which way they drop in. It should be fairly obvious. And as they exit the car, we can reveal that going through to the top 4, it's James Dean. James Dean goes through to the top 4, guys. Give it up for Anthony Galvin. His season ends there, but what a way to end it against James Dean. Fairly obvious from the judges, of course. And Galvin not able to get back from that 10-0 disadvantage, Eddie. And you know what? He threw it all on the line. What a way to end the season.
Yeah, exactly. Doing exactly what he needed to do. You can't go half-assed against James Dean. He put it all on the line. Didn't work out for him on this occasion, but do you know what? Suffering a loss. Pretty much every drifter in the world has been
suffering. Well, you know what though? He's coming up against some heavyweights from this point on, and this game of chess is not over by a long shot.
No, you look at the names that are still left in the competition: Mike Fitz, Dwayne McKeever, Jack Shanahan, Shane O'Sullivan, Matt Carter, Tomas Kiley.
And we know all of those guys can push James Dean, so that's what's coming up next. James Dean, he might have had a couple of 10-0s there, but he won't get them all the way. Next up, we move on to our next battle, and at this point in time, you've got to say, Dwayne McKeever, he is still in the competition with an engine that's 1 day old and rebuilt in a hurry. He goes against Mike Fitz. Now, Mike Fitz, for me, Eddie, he goes into this one as the underdog. Hasn't reached this stage of the competition in a long, long time. McKeever's a big fish in this pond.
Yeah, look, it's been a long time for Mike Fitz, but he's starting to come good here this weekend. Looking confident, looking steady out on the track. It is a big task coming up against the two-time champion, Dwayne McKeever. But look at this, Dave. Serious aggression right from the off. As McKeever now starts to put the foot down. Mike makes a big dive down into Mobile 1. Can he get on the door, McKeever?
He's trying his best. He's sacrificing some line there to try and do it, but now he's got an opportunity to dive here onto the wall. Look at McKeever, inch perfect, but Fitz is right there with him in the Drift Games FC. Still shortcutting from Mike Fitz. He may be getting lost in the smoke, but he takes it home and puts himself into the fight.
Yeah, Fitzy trying everything he can there just to gain some ground and get the judges thinking about giving him some points. But you know what? Dwayne just nailing that one straight from the off. Dave, look how fast he is, and that's really the problem for Mike Fitz, because he just has to come offline here just to try and get some proximity.
Absolutely, and I mean, a spot in the semi-final at the biggest event at the end of the year is a huge task, and you don't want to leave it. As you said, you don't want to half-ass it. You don't want to go out there and say, I lost soft. You want to go out there and go as hard as you can, and Fitz did everything he could do there. It seemed to me like he was a little outpaced. He was sacrificing quite a bit. So let's see which way the judges go. And of course, it doesn't matter what we think, Eddie, because it never does. We just kind of speculate and hope we know what's going on. We kind of watch it like the rest of you guys, but it looks pretty close, and it is a close one, with a slight, very slight advantage. It's Mike Fitzgerald, guys.
Yeah, I mean, Mike doing just enough there to take a slight advantage. Dwayne, real good lead line. If Dwayne's line wasn't so good, that advantage would be more. But there's, Dwayne with that real good lead line, holding his own, and it's all to play for in the next run.
Yeah, so Mike doing, listening and briefing, knows where he was allowed to cut the track. As we mentioned, those hatch markings at the end of the circuit, the chase car is allowed to deviate in, or dive into those just to get that proximity.
Eddie, it's Dwayne McKeever's time to shine. He's got to go closer to Mike Fitz. And
this is basically his bread and butter right here.
Yeah, but he's got to hope the car holds up. He's got to hope he doesn't make mistakes or make contact. Big risk reward for Dwayne McKeever as they slam gears over the hill. And look at McKeever! That is the closest initiation we've seen all day, but McKeever's struggling. Understeers a little bit, makes contact on entry, and Mike Fitz keeps it going. McKeever's got to get himself back into this one, Eddie.
Yeah, he needs to pull it back here, Dave. Big aggression in the first corner, but he needs to have that proximity all the way through if he's going to have a hope of taking an advantage here. Mike doing a really good job out in the lead position. McKeever cutting the circuit to try and get back in the door, gets that proximity as they cross the line.
That's going to open a conversation.
Ooh,
that is
certainly
look
is.
at the initiation from
I
Dwayne
can see
McKeever.
people tapping the keyboard already, Dave.
Yeah, look at Dwayne McKeever here. Wow, look at that. That is 65 miles an hour sideways, door to door, and I don't mean it figuratively. I mean it literally, door to door, and they both held it through that corner, which is off camber, downhill, and blind. That's driving of the top level. Yeah,
and I mean, to go in that brave, we've already seen what can happen if those front wheels meet. I mean, these guys can just mount each other at that sort of pace. And
yeah, we don't want anyone mounting anyone, Eddie. It's late in the season, but we've got away with it so far. I could have let that one go, right? Yeah, well, let's see which way the drive is. Guys, give it up for Dwayne McKeever and Mikey Fitz. Mondello, we need you to make some noise. So it looks like we have a decision. And going through to the final four at the final round of the IDC this year is... It's Mike Fitz! Mike Fitz, and his expression tells it all. He cannot believe it, guys. Give it up for Dwayne McKeever. What a weekend. 3 laps, blows an engine, still makes it to the top 8. But we got to go back to our judges. Guys, a tough call there.
Yeah, really close call there. Fitz's lead line was actually spot on. Really, really good on the qualifying line the whole way through. Dwayne, on initiation, I think he was a little bit over aggressive. Just coming up to clipping point 2, he had to straighten out a little bit. Ended up losing a lot of proximity. He did gain that proximity back, but after that little straighten, it was a massive mistake. And with Fitz's lead line, it wasn't enough for me to give an advantage to Dwayne, and I actually ended up scoring that a 6-4 advantage to Fitz. Fitz goes through then.
So Mikey Fitz taking it through to, if I'm not mistaken, his first Final Four of the season, finishing it off in style. He's going to be coming up against good friend and possibly drift idol James Dean. But
oh, what a moment for Mike Fitz. Go play with James Dean. Now we go back to the start line. It's Shanahan versus O'Sullivan. Now remember, if Shane O'Sullivan is to win his first ever IDC, he's in the Jam Speed S15. Now he has got over 20 podiums, but he's never won a round. But he has to go through the current Irish Drift champion today and the current Super Series. It is Jack Shanahan, and here they go. Jack Shanahan into the first corner. Shane O'Sullivan leaving a little bit of ground there. As Shane O'Sullivan goes massively offline, almost drops the wheel, and Shanahan looking untouched in front.
Yeah, certainly is, and O'Sullivan struggling just to keep with the pace of Shanahan. And we've seen so many drivers that do that in the past, they just can't keep it. But Sullivan starting to bring the fight now in the dying stages of this run. Can he get it on the door of Jack? He just can't do it, Dave. Just can't stay with the...
I was just thinking there as Jack Shanahan came across the line. That car has done 10 events. And if you look at the results that Jack Shanahan's got this year, it's probably done more track time than any other car in the championship, bar his own brothers, because it's always out there or thereabouts. How that thing is still going, and how many times it's been hit, how many times it's broken something, how many times that car has hit walls. And
and this isn't a car that goes out in qualifying or that goes out in the top 32. This car goes consistently to the podium stages of the competition.
And I mean, Shane O'Sullivan, for me, it's just another wasted opportunity, because it looks like Jack Shanahan will get a 7-3 on the first half of the run, guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's a great lead from Jack there, really on point, nothing to take away from him at all. Shane just tried to catch up with him, but made some mistakes. He was off clipping point 2 and also had no real proximity until he dived in at clip 7, which gave him a bit more proximity right at the end of the run there, but not enough to take anything.
So Sullivan goes in with a disadvantage now. Shanahan's where he wants to be in the chase run. He said he's having fun now. Two championships in the bag already today. He says he wants to win the event. He wants to win the biggest drift event of the year. End of. But he's got to stick it on Shane O'Sullivan's door here and expect Shanahan to come in very, very hot here.
Yeah, I mean, pressure off, Dave, and that's exactly what Shanahan wants. He's just free to roam, and he's such a naturally relaxed driver behind the wheel. But without the pressure of the championship, we're going to see the best of them. Look at this.
Shanahan. Wow.
Yeah, Shanahan coming in really hot and aggressive there, right on the back bumper of Shane O'Sullivan as they initiate down the stretch. Now he goes hunting for the door as they come around by Mobile 1. It's Maxis versus Westlake. They switch it onto the wall. Look at this, side by side. Mistake from Shanahan, though. Not enough, though, to throw him off too far as he stays in the fight. And as they cross the line, guys, put your hands together, make some noise. Sullivan, Shanahan.
It's getting emotional out there.
Putting on a show.
It's getting emotional, Eddie.
Totes emotion.
Totes emotion, because it's the hardest we've seen these guys drive all year. Look at Shanahan on initiation. That is 75 miles an hour plus, firing within inches of the back bumper of O'Sullivan's car. I mean, you're getting to watch some of the best guys in the business out here, and it's a privilege. It's a privilege that I don't have to travel very far to see this, and it's a privilege that we get to watch it online for free, and it's a privilege that you guys can see these guys grow as not only Irish stars, but world stars. From such a small country, how we keep producing them, I honestly don't know. But they roll back to the grandstand, and we need a victor. And they are out of the car. Guys, give it up for Shane O'Sullivan and Jack Shanahan. But I can announce that going through to the final four it's Jack Shanahan. Jack Shanahan gets the win, and he is going to the top four. Dean, Fitz, Shanahan are there. But will it be an Englishman or an Irishman that joins them? Because the last battle will be Carter versus Kiley, and expect the fireworks.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the heavyweight battles just keep on coming. I'm just exhausted from this, Dave, because it has been non-stop action all day. When you think you've seen the best battle you can see, these guys come out and just wow you.
I told you it was going to be the best one. I'll tell you why. Because years ago, you used to expect one good battle a day would just be happy enough. You got one good door-to-door. Oh, that was great. Now you're getting 8, 10, 16 battles a weekend where people are putting cars on the line. Not just to be good. Being good at drifting is irrelevant now. Being sensational is required. And that's what makes it so difficult. We say it's the easiest accessible sport out there. It is. But it is not accessible at that top level. You have to be superhuman to throw a car a quarter of an inch from another car, sideways, full throttle, 75 miles an hour. Forget about sitting at home on the couch judging this. You can't even pretend to know what it's like to come in over that hill. I've driven this track. You can't even see the grandstand until you get to clip 2. That is insane stuff. And we are going to see another 3 or 4 battles that I think will just define this championship this year. And I'm so proud of everything these guys have achieved to go out here and wow this crowd. Incredible stuff. And the fans that are here today and how pumped up everybody is. It's a credit to a small country where this sport shouldn't even have success, shouldn't even be possible. Just like we made an MMA fighter, we're making drifters going around the world winning things, and at one circuit in the whole country. They've come from cattle marts and car parks to the top of the world. Incredible. So we now see 2 guys who are ready to go to war, Tomas Kiley and Matt Carter. And Kiley, he's a big game player. Jaffest, that's where Kiley shines. But Carter, he is the last remaining hope of an international beating 14 years of history. Remember, we are at over 125 challengers, most of them champions, local, national, have come to Ireland and trying to beat the Irish. None have ever done it. But he stands as the last man this year, and Jesus, Ed, we'll probably be talking about this again next year, which I really hoped we wouldn't be.
Yeah.
But it's all on Matt Carter's shoulders now, and it's all on Kiley's to hold the fort.
I think what you need to do next year is limit the number of Irish drivers you allow to compete in the championship and increase the number of visiting drivers. But look, they are lined up. Kiley to lead them in. Carter's going to give chase. The sun started to set here in Mondello, Dave, and you know what? It's picture perfect.
This is what it's all about, sunshine. Guys, are you pumped up in the grandstand? Here we go, Carter and Kiley, 14 years of history on the line. Carter and chase him in.
Yeah, Carter all over the back bumper of Kiley, starting to turn the screw, but washes wide. Understeers once again does Matt Carter. Could this be the end of his chances? He needs to now start to reel in Kiley again. But look at Kiley nailing that qualifying line, sending up the smoke signals, shredding those Achilles tires. nailing the walls over the line. Carter doesn't have an answer.
You know what? When he's up against a fellow Irishman, Nigel Colfer, he barely makes it around the first two corners. When he gets the pressure of 14 years history, blitzes it. Carter suffering massive understeer through the first corner, really shook up his run from there. But look at the bravery as these guys come in over that hill. If you see this from the opposite angle, which is very hard for the live stream to understand, that is a completely blind corner. It just drops down. When you're driving up the straight at 60, 70 miles an hour, all you can see is the roof of the grandstand. And you hit the handbrake, and then it drops in. It's incredible.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to have sat in the seat beside James Dean as he made a pass at the circuit, and it's a pretty scary thing. Pretty daunting to see how little track they have to work with.
And a lot of people say, it's one corner, but yeah, look, Judge's coming in, and there you have it, Kiley taking an advantage. No surprise there, guys.
Yeah, it all really comes down to the mistake by Carter on the first corner. Comes in way too hot and has to back out of it. Misses clip 2, has a big straightened in, and he does that. At that point, he's probably 7-3 advantage to Kiley. Kiley maintains his line. Carter does gain a little bit of ground for the rest of the lap, while somewhat maintaining the qualifying line in places, but just not enough to pull back any of the disadvantage that he had from the first corner. So it finished up for me at a 7-3 advantage to Kiley.
So they switch around. Matt Carter needs a miracle. Look into the sky, and it's blue, but he is going to need that green shape behind him to go into the grass, because I would imagine Kiley, he knows he's the advantage here. He's got to chase close. Can Tomas Kiley, once again, which he did at Global Warfare at round 3, Eddie, see off all foreign invaders at Jaffest? And
it's the only time we really seem to see the best of Tomas Kiley is when you put the
front lines outside the castle saying,
he's going to be working in border control when he graduates from high school.
There you have it. Carter is actually grinding fender here. You can see he's actually grinding fender on the car from that impact. But look at Kiley!
Yeah, sheer aggression from Kiley as he hunts the door of Carter. The hunter becomes the hunted.
And he's right there, and he's right where he needs to be. Can he finish this one? So look at Carter's line, though, to the wall again. He's given it a hell of an effort here today. He is the current BDC champion, but I wonder, is that enough of a retaliation, or will Kiley hold down the fort and the Irish? 14 years again, maybe. We don't know. The judges will let us know, but it looks like.
Yeah, I think when you look at the scores from the previous run, the very important score will be the score given by Ryan Potticary, a 7.5 to 2.5. That could be the decisive factor here in this one, because that was a pretty mean run from both drivers. And Kiley, of course, in the chase position where it is easier to gain those points as well.
Let's see which way it goes as they roll back. And the entire circuit has disappeared right now. We can't even see what's going on, but they are in front of you guys. Guys, give it up for Tomas Kiley and Matt Carter. So here's how it stands. Kiley wins it. The Irish remain 14 years undefeated on home soil. Carter wins it. He goes to the top 4. The scores are in, and I can reveal, going through to the semi-final is Tomas Kiley. And it never ends. It never ends. 14 years, never ends.
So many great other marketing tricks that you have up your sleeve that you just can't wait to use, and you just can't use them.
I'd say if we got Superman, Batman, and the Flash here, they still wouldn't do any better. It's ridiculous. Kiley does it. He goes to face his school friend, Jack Shanahan, in the top 4, and it's starting to heat up.
Yeah, and we have 4 drivers left.
4 remaining.
They're all going to battle twice.
Yep.
James Dean versus Mike Fitz, who's going to the final. Jack Shanahan versus Tomas Kiley, who's going to the final. Is it too early? I think it's even still too early to start predicting the winner here.
It is, and of course we're getting ready for that final 4. Dean against Fitz, and that's a very interesting battle, because Mike Fitz, he's a huge James Dean fan. He's grown up, he's a little older than James Dean.
He's always looked up to him.
He's always looked up to him. Just because he's a bit shorter, we're not going to say it, but Fitz beating Dean in Jaffest would be the greatest moment of his entire life.
I think it will be, yeah.
Dean wins. He goes up against Shanahan and Kiley, 2 guys that he's had trouble with in the past here. And Shanahan versus Kiley as a semi-final. Yeah, I mean, this is what you want.
I think the biggest shame here is that one of these guys has to go home without a trophy, because you know what? They have fought tooth and nail all day long, and it is I mean, it has just been an absolute spectacle here for
Crazy.
Japfest. I've never seen anything like it, and it's hard to keep saying that because you think you've seen it all before in drifting, and we've had so many exceptional and really memorable moments in this championship, but we just continue to produce such incredible talent, such incredible battles, and I said it earlier, even the gods wanted an exceptional final to the 2017 championship.
I mean, today, this was promised a washout, remember? I'm just going to put in a formal complaint with the iPhone app, by the way. I'm calling BS on the iPhone app. Full washout this weekend. I'm in a t-shirt.
F you, AccuWeather.
Yes. I mean, this is, James, imagine if Mike Fitz won this. Can you imagine? Goes into this as one of the biggest underdogs ever. He's got to throw the kitchen sink, his phone, his keys, everything at James Dean here if he's going to beat him. He's got to put that car either on the bumper or in the grass. There's no in between.
No, look, Mike Fitz has to be prepared to lose the car here in order to take out the idol and the machine that is James Dean. They are off the line. Dean to lead in Fitz. Who's going through to the final? Look at the aggression here from Mikey Fitz as he makes the dive down the inside. But James on a perfect line.
Yeah, Fitz on the inside. He's going to use that 3-meter proximity rule to try and get some proximity, and he does. He's there on the quarter. Can he stay there? He's giving it one hell of a fight here.
Yeah, Fitz brings the fight as James throws it down onto the door. Big dive again onto the door from Mikey Fitz through the final section as they cross the line. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for James Dean and Mike Fitzgerald.
You know what? He did everything he could do there, Eddie. He threw everything. Caution to the wind. You can see how battered that car is from how hard he's been pushing this weekend. He's still got a chance at the podium even if he loses, but he wants to get into that final, and right now I think he's looking pretty strong. Puts the proximity in, uses it, the 3-meter proximity rule to go offline, and does cut the course quite a bit there to get back on James' door. James having a bit of a faster car, it would seem, but you know what? This is what it's all about. Heart and guts out there on the track in front of so many people watching. People find it tough to drift. Imagine with 180,000 people watching your every move, how you keep that pressure, how you stay on top of your game, and you're going up against the best in the world. Incredible stuff from Mike Fitzgerald just to hold it together. So let's see which way the scores drop in. And, after the first run, a very small advantage to Mike Fitzgerald. Guys, talk us through it.
Yep, perfect lead run by James there. Mike had proximity to 1, 2, and 3, and he transitioned and did a bit of a dive. Now, we have a 3-meter rule. If you're within 3 meters room, you can come offline. So at the point of transition, he was within 3 meters. So that little dive that he made there, we didn't penalise him much for it. So the proximity he had from there should have gained him a little bit more, but we just have a very tiny advantage of a 5.5 after that run.
So Mike Fitz not rolling over there, Eddie, getting a small advantage now. Hands the ball to the machine, James Dean, and says, well, buddy, we've known each other a long time, but I ain't going to slow down. You've got to chase me, and I'm going in hot. Fitz versus Dean.
Yeah, Mike has to go in fully committed here. He needs every last bit of pace that he can muster up through that first corner to try and lose James Dean, because James Dean is going to go hard. He's going to be fast, and he's going to come hunting for that door. Can Mike take it through to the final? Can he get the advantage in the second half? Look at this as they throw it in a big angle, door to door through the first corner.
Wow, James Dean almost disappeared in the tire smoke from Mike Fitzgerald's car there, and he is right there with Mike Fitzgerald. Mike Fitzgerald desperately trying to stay on that outside line, and look at Dean as he dives onto the door of Mike Fitzgerald's car. A little hesitation as he gets right back in his business again across the line. Guys, that is putting it all on the line right there. Go anywhere in the world, and we've proven it, because you will see trifling like that in America with James Dean. You'll see it in Europe with James Dean. But Mike Fitz gave it one. Look at that. The bumper flexed on the front of James Dean's car on initiation. Accuracy beyond even what's humanly possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible how these guys can judge the distances so perfectly at such high speeds. They're going from full throttle to braking zones. It's just immense.
Yeah, you look at any other, sort of motorsport. These guys are using the clutch, the accelerator, the front brakes, the rear brakes, counter steer, everything at one time. It's like an octopus. Guys, give it up for James Dean and Mikey Fitz. That is the top 4 battle. And as you can see, these guys struggle to take selfies together. So scores are in. And going through, well, they say you need a horse and jockey to win an IDC event. Well, this is a little bit literal. Guys, give it up for Mike Fitz and James Dean having fun on track.
Yeah, Mike Fitzgerald gaining some extra horsepower there.
So, the results are in though. And going through to the final of the final fight is James Dean. James Dean goes to the final. Mike Fitz will play it out for third and fourth. Gotta come back to the judges. Some phenomenal driving in that battle, guys.
Great driving. Mike's leader line was pretty good. He was a little bit shallow on clip 2 and 3. But James was absolutely pushing him around the track. Really, really good proximity the whole way throughout, while maintaining the qualifying line behind Mike. Fantastic chasing, and he came away with a 6.5 advantage to after that run. Really good chasing by James.
So James Dean goes to the final, and he will face either Shanahan or Kiley. I'm putting the microphone down. I'm done. I'm going out to watch it. I'm done. I'm going to watch it. It's too good. This is too good. I'm going to go watch it like a fan.
Can I go too?
There's too much stress with this commentary. I just want to watch this. Take it in. Absorb it. Kiley and Shanahan again. We remember the battles. If you're an IDC fan, you know what this means. Kiley and Shanahan, 2 kids, both of them taught from 9 or 10 years of age by James Dean how to drift. Kiley almost beat James Dean here when an engine failed 2 years ago at Jaffest. Shanahan beat James Dean last year here. They're both going against each other. 2 guys that are very good friends, both in school, and now they go up against each other at the grandest stage of them all. His first spot in the final. Shanahan versus Kiley. Westlake versus Achilles. Wow, this is the moment. Who will hold their nerve? It's Kiley to chase in Shanahan. Here we go. Wow, Kiley in there from the off.
Yeah, Kiley getting all up in Jack Shanahan's business. Look at the aggression. Oh, but an error from Kiley on transition. But he gets right back onto the door of Shanahan, who puts foot to floor and sends up the smoke signals as they throw it back onto the wall. Kiley getting a little bit caught again and loses some ground over the line. Dave, a lot going on in that one.
And you can tell they're putting it all out there on the track, and with the sun is coming down, the visibility is getting through the smoke is getting a little difficult. It starts to become fog when the sun starts hitting it. But look at Kai. He definitely went in hot into that first corner. Stayed with Shanahan, but this is where he makes the error. He gets on too much angle, and when he snaps back, he's in the middle of the track, Eddie.
Yeah, that voice.
My voice is struggling
already.
right now.
And I mean, you know what? It's been battle after battle. Oh.
The possibility of either Kiley or Shanahan in the final against Dean, forget about it. It's just insane.
Yeah,
so,
and I mean, that's what awaits the winner of this. And I mean, this is only a final 4. We've just been spoiled today, completely.
Yeah, with every way, from the weather to the amazing audience that's here in Mondello to the amazing driving. But the scores are in. Oh, dead heat between Shanahan and Kiley, guys.
Yeah, fantastic lead run there by Jack. Absolutely on the qualifying line the whole way. Amazing stuff. Tomas really, really aggressive, but making some mistakes behind him and behind Jack as well. From clip 1 to 3, Tomas was definitely up at a 7-3 advantage, but then he transitions a little bit too early and takes the inside line around Mobile 1, so that kind of throws away the advantage that he had. From there on in, he was able to maintain that 5-5 for the rest of the lap, but coming out to clipping point 8, he has a slight over rotation as well. So mistakes, really aggressive, but definitely mistakes behind him as well. So finished up with a 5-5 advantage, or 5-5 overall.
You can't have a 5-5 advantage, Kevin. We've done the math. We had the abacus out here. It says you can't have a 5-5 advantage. It's official, but we are going to the second half of this run, Eddie. This time Kiley's in the lead position. Shanahan's in the chase. Shanahan said he is so close to a final with James Dean. That's what he said to me he wanted on Thursday evening. But he's got to go through Tomas Kiley and he's got to put it on the door. Here we go. Up over the hill one more time.
And as they fire through the first corner side by side, Shanahan the aggressor here. Can he keep in it? Big transition now. Comes a little bit shallow though to gain the proximity onto Tomas Kiley's door. Kiley nailing the qualifying line. Oh, they tagged the wall. Can Kiley gain some ground? Shanahan dives down the inside, wheel to wheel as they cross the line. Kiley, Shanahan, Mondello Park makes some noise.
17 and 18 years of age, and already veterans in the sport, already have accomplished so much. But who will go to the final? Just an incredible display from these guys right throughout the weekend. As they roll in front of you guys, the future is bright. Give it up for Jack Shanahan and Tomas Kiley. Oh, I mean, it's hard to take it. It's very emotional up here. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of monster energy.
What impresses me most is how these guys keep that level of consistency through so many battles all day long. It's just really incredible.
Oh, results are in, Eddie.
Result is in, Dave.
Oh, and the final with James Dean is up for grabs. And it's a close one, a very close one. I can say that the winner of this battle has won it 11-9. But the winner is Jack Shanahan! Ah, it's Shanahan Dean final. It's all over.
Yep.
Yeah. Take the children in. Make a cup of tea. We got to come back to the judges. Guys, talk us through it. That was some incredible driving in the top four.
Yeah, both of them doing real well there. Tomas with a great lead line, similar to Jack's, on clipping points, no issues with the lead at all. However, it all comes down to Jack's chase. It was much cleaner all the way through the course, staying within 3 meters. He made a few little dives, but nowhere near as bad as or as much as Tomas was on his chase. So that gave Jack the 6-4 advantage from all of us here, winning him the run.
Eddie, we're apologising, Ryan. We were just discussing the fact that James Dean and Jack Shanahan are in the final, and we were trying to call it between ourselves. No conclusion was the answer at the end of it. It's going to be a crazy final.
Come back to us in 20 minutes when.
Yeah, we have no idea.
When you guys have decided it for us.
Incredible. So it will be Mike Fitz against Tomas Kiley in the 3rd and 4th place playoff. What a final, or 3rd place playoff that is. And then it's Dean versus Shanahan. If you had to pick 2 drivers this year from all competitions, I think I'd have picked the 2 of those as a final battle of the whole European drifting. You look at the man like Jack Shanahan, who's dominated the BDC, the British Drift Championship, won the Irish Drift Championship this year, goes up against the man dominating the Formula Drift Championship. It's like a Champions League final.
Yeah, I think, if Jack Shanahan didn't have a little bit of a slow start that he had in the British Drift Championship this year, I think it might have been closer going into the final round. But
well, we got a moment because obviously you guys are changing tyres here, and I've just got a quick one for it. Our live stream guys have just told us we have got an onboard from James Dean's car in qualifying. So if you want to see how the machine works, well, have a look at this. This is him in qualifying. Just have a look at how fast this track is from the other perspective. As you can see, Eddie, a very technical circuit here, and I think it's giving people a little bit of an appreciation for how difficult that first corner is.
Yeah, Dave, I mean, I've seen these type of onboards time and time again, but I mean, just that transition even between 3 and 4, how quickly it all happens. I mean, it's and that's just when there's one car out on track. So how quick thinking do these guys need to be, or quick with their thinking do these guys need to be when they're following somebody else in at that pace? Really incredible stuff, and that was James's 96-point run in qualifying this morning.
Yeah, and look, we've appreciated everybody being here all season. If you guys have come to all the IDC rounds, remember, you guys being in attendance is the only reason we can do events like this. The only reason we can create drivers like this is for you guys coming to events. So from IDC to everybody here today, can you give yourselves a big round of applause for supporting this sport? Give yourselves a big round of applause, guys. Incredible, incredible audience this weekend. Before we finish, and we're almost about to finish because we have 2 battles left before we get out of here for the season. There's a lot of guys on track that I want to thank. I want to thank the IDC team, and those guys have worked, and we've calculated this season, the full-time staff at IDC and BDC, 2,500 hours on drift events this year, all throughout the week, getting this plan together. And also those guys on the track who stand there from Friday morning right until now, making sure this thing runs smooth. Can we get a huge round of applause for the whole IDC track team, please? Awesome stuff. Can we also get a huge round of applause for our tower team, our judges and our track managers? Can we get a huge round of applause for those guys for the work they do all year? And can we also get a huge round of applause for all of our media on track, all of our media bringing those awesome photos and videos to you guys, mostly doing it for free. And after that, I've got I feel like a phone on 1% battery right now because it's just been a long day. It's been a long year. It's been an amazing year.
Do number 1 and number 2 commentator, myself and Ian Waddington, not getting a round of applause?
Nope. Nope, you're useless.
Thanks, Dave.
Nope. Number 1 and number 2. Who's number 1? Oh, just got awkward.
Yeah.
So you can be number 1 because you're Irish.
Yeah, then over in the UK, Ian's number 1.
He doesn't know how to say Irish counties, so he loses points for that.
Yeah, and some of them are British. You can't even pronounce them.
So we went on, and as I said, 2 battles left for the whole season. What a season it's been from, an incredible round 1. Dunleary was just exceptional. Global warfare, all those countries coming here, a brand new track layout. Irish still held their own. All 3 of the podium Irish drivers. Watergrass Hill, massive upset. Kiley, Shanahan, all those guys went out top 16. Paul McCarthy won the event, so it still shows that the championship can be won at times by anybody. And you come to the final, you say, well, James Dean is back in town. Jack Shanahan wins the championship, gets that out of the way, and he says, and we've just heard word from the pits, he says, forget the championships. I want James Dean, and I want him here today.
Yeah, I think to a lot of the IDC drivers, that is more important. The win over James Dean means more than the championship. Because you know what?
Yeah.
If you can beat James Dean, then you know that you can compete with the best in the world, because that's exactly what he's doing. He is putting Irish drifting on the map. He is showcasing what we are all about, and he is going into that final round in Irwindale, which I am very delighted to say, Dave, we will be attending.
You know what's funny? I remember days here in Mondello Park when James Dean was booed. He was booed for winning. He was booed by many of the people probably here today for winning, and everyone said, you know what?
There's a Cork bias.
There's a Cork bias in the judging. The judges always go for James Dean, blah, blah, blah. Well, there's no Cork people in Formula Drift, as far as I know, except for James Dean. And he actually is doing pretty okay there. So it goes to show that the driving level was...
You wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know. There could be some Cork bias in Formula Drift. You wouldn't know.
Every American person has an Irish background.
That's true, and they could all be from Cork. But he now goes up against another person for Cork, so this is a massive split decision here in the tower. There are a lot of Cork.
It's a good thing we have an English judge here.
Yeah, just to keep it in the middle of it. 2 judges from Cork, 2 finalists from Cork, and 1 lad from England has to decide this one this evening. Interesting stuff, but incredible stuff. And for you guys online, on live stream, thank you for tuning in all season. We hope you've enjoyed all the action. We hope you've enjoyed the show. We're trying to make it as good as possible, as watchable as possible, and as professional as possible. We're not even charging for it. We just want you guys to enjoy it, have fun, and enjoy it if you can't be here in the flesh. If you're not here in the flesh, though, you're missing a lot. You're missing about 90% of the fun. But if you are online right now, hit the share button. I'm going to try and... Is it down here? No, it's down here. Hit the share button. Hit the share button at the bottom of the page and spread this out across the world. We've got 2 battles left. We want everybody in the world to see them. Mondello, are you ready for the finals? I am loving the grandstand right now. They are hyped.
Yeah, the grandstand, they know their role, and they are playing their part very, very well here this weekend. Some of our other audience members not maybe giving as much back to us as we would
I'm
have
not sure if
wanted.
they can. Can you guys hear us over on the far side of Mobile 1? Can you guys hear us? Raise your hands. Raise your hands if you can hear us. Oh, they're just the quiet people. They're quiet. They actually came to a funeral. I got wrong car park.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got to wait for our guys. Obviously, we're waiting because they're changing tires. People on the live stream saying, "Why are we waiting?" Well, they're changing tires, obviously, because they have to go back out for the final.
Patience is a virtue.
Patience
so please
is
do
a
stay
virtue.
with us. Just for we can announce that the drivers are. You can see them heading back up to the start line right now.
Yeah,
so
as you can see, obviously don't want to rush it. They want to make sure the cars are refueled and tires put back on the
yeah,
car.
and we want to see these guys fighting it out. We don't want to see mechanical difficulties on the line. So
No.
we do allow them to have that extra moment. These cars, very highly tuned and running very hot all day long. We do allow them that extra few moments just to get ready for our final battles. 3 spots on the podium up for grabs, Dave. One of these drivers will be going home without a trophy. It is a shame, but that is the nature of sport.
It is, and you can see Tomas Kiley warming up as he goes to battle with Mike Fitzgerald. Kiley is the highest qualifier. He will, now remember, at the end of this battle, we'll tell you who's got 3rd on the podium. We will not tell you who got the final, because, you know what, for the laugh, we're just going to open the gates and let everybody come on the track at the end and gather around the podium for the final result. But this will be decided on track, and it will be decided in the next 5 minutes. Kiley or Fitz, who will take home the 3rd place trophy? Remember, Kiley will secure himself a 2nd position in the Irish Drift Championship this year. Phenomenal achievement that is already. But can he go one better and take home a trophy at the end? It'll be Fitz versus Kiley. The last run of both of these cars for the year. They're going to throw it all out there.
Yeah, they certainly are. They're going to go hard. They get the orders from the marshal. Green lights. We are go. Kiley to lead in Fitz. For the last time they take to the circuit this year. Over the brow of the hill. Big entry from Tomas Kiley. Mike Fitz getting lost. And Mike Fitz off the track at clip 3.
Yeah, got lost in the smoke, I think, there, Eddie.
Yeah, didn't seem to have the pace for Kiley. Getting lost in the smoke.
I'm not even confident where he is. So he's back out. He got it back out of the smoke. And I think he just delayed. He got lost a little bit. And a lot of drivers saying to us, if you stay back a couple of car lengths, you can see nothing on this track. So I think Mike Fitz just didn't see where the edge of the course was there. And I think it's a fairly obvious 10-0 to Tomas Kiley in the first half. I don't think Kiley thought he'd get it that easy.
No, certainly not. And it just, look, you can see it here. Mike I think it was a little bit of understeer for him. And then that smoke signal getting sent up nice and high, and he just couldn't.
You can see how clouded he is here. How can you see anything as you drive through that white smoke screen? And Fitz just says, I'm just going to hold on now and hope I don't hit anything hard. And he got away with it.
Yeah, but he does head back up to that start line with a 10-0 disadvantage. Very hard to overturn that now. He will need to come back out and just do everything he can from the lead position. He needs to just nail his qualifying line and hope that Kiley can make a similar mistake chasing him.
So we are now waiting on the second half of this battle.
And while we wait for them to line up, a quick mention once again to our sponsors who have been so helpful with us all year long. Stone Motorsport, Origin Labo, Achilles Radial, Westlake Tyres, MixedGarage.com, Brian James Trailers, Zestino Tires UK, JDM Distro, VP Racing Fuels, Samco Sport, The Detailing Shed, Monster Energy, who've been fueling Irish drifting for as long as we can remember, and our title sponsor this year, Link Engine Management.
Yeah, incredible, and thank you so much to all of our very generous sponsors who've been not only just sponsoring but supporting the championship and making sure that we can keep improving. And remember, you would be sitting at home watching nothing on live stream if it wasn't for those guys. So support their products and support their parts, because they're the only reason you're watching it. There is no other reason. And here we go. What can happen here? It will be Fitz versus Kiley. Fitz to lead him out. Kiley has a handy run here if he can stay on the track, but anything can happen.
Yeah, third position on the podium up for grabs. Kiley with the 10-0 advantage. Can it be overturned? Can Fitz force an error from the lead position? Kiley is right there with Fitz. Was there contact on entry there? Fitz's bumper trailing. Now Fitz on a nice high line through Mobile 1, but he just can't shake the young. Oh, and Mike Fitz just pulls out and shuts it down. And I think that all but seals the deal.
So I think that's made an easier decision for our judges there. As they will return back up, we will be able to announce who has taken third place on the podium, leaving us one final battle. And look at Kiley, almost takes the back bumper off Fitz's car on initiation. It's ridiculous talent. And Fitz, it looked like a gear change issue or something breaking in the car. Eddie, not the way you would have want to finish, but a top four, a fantastic way to end the season.
Yeah, look, I think with the season that Mike has had, he will be delighted that he's managed to go this far in the biggest event of the year. There will be disappointment, of course, that he hasn't made it to the podium, but you know, it just goes to show the level of competition here, and some errors just coming into his driving, costing him a little bit there. Yeah,
so we can announce that taking third step on the podium, and we'll see him later on for the podium celebrations, is Tomas Kiley. Tomas Kiley takes third place on the podium, leaving us with one final battle for the season. And right now it's the man who's won the Irish Drift Championship facing his mentor, who is currently leading the Formula Drift Championship. They've proven to be two of the best on the planet, not Ireland, not Europe, the planet this year. And now they go head to head. History books will say James Dean is 2, Jack Shanahan is 1. Could Shanahan level it up? Shanahan says he doesn't care about championships, he wants Dean, and he's getting him now in the final. My voice is about to absolutely fall apart. Mondello, are you ready? No, it's Dean versus Shanahan. Everybody in the grandstand, stand up. It's the final. Everybody up. This is the final run of the day. Shanahan versus Dean. If you're a drift fan, this is as good as it gets. And it will be James Dean to lead in Jack Shanahan. Look at Jack Shanahan already.
Jack Shannon showing series. Look at this, bumper to bumper. They transition side by side. Incredible aggression shown here from Jack Shannon. He's not willing to give an inch to James Dean. but he comes a little bit shallow as they come around by Mobile 1. Now they go door to door, wheel to wheel. Dean onto the wall, Shanahan right there with him. Mondello, make some noise for your finalists, James Dean and Jack Shanahan.
My good God.
Wow.
What was that? Look at Shanahan on initiation. End of the world stuff here as he initiates. Look at this, within a millimeter of James Dean on initiation. That is 70 mile an hour plus right there. He makes a big dive early, makes a small error, but he's right back on the door again. I mean, my heart was in my mouth, Eddie. That was insane.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so knife edge, the aggression these guys show. It is so on the limit, and they throw everything at it.
A guy on the live stream just summed it up, Eddie. He just summed it up and said, Jesus F. That's exactly what he just said, because that was incredible. That's only halfway through. I don't know. My voice can't take it. Your voice can't take it. Mondello, are you ready for another run? Well, you know what? We'll go to judges in a moment. They're still discussing this one. Who thinks Jack Shanahan should have the advantage after the first run? Who thinks James Dean should have the advantage after the first run? That's fairly even in the grandstand. Fairly even. Oh, so, scores are in and an advantage goes to nobody, because we're not going to tell you. We're not going to tell you who's got the advantage. Did you like that? A little bit of suspense?
You're such a trickster.
Oh, look. End of the year. Just reeling them in, reeling them in. Okay, so we're not going to say who's got an advantage, but there is an advantage one way or the other. We're going to let all of you guys after this run, if it is a decision and it's finished, to come down onto the track, make the biggest mosh pit ever in IDC history, and get around that podium before we announce it. We are ready to send the last run of the year. Mondello, are you ready? Grandstand, I need you to stomp on your feet, hands over your head. Are you ready? It's time to do it. Dean, Shanahan, only one can win it. And we get the word. Jack Shanahan to lead in James Dean. Well, can the machine hold strong? Here we go. Slamming through the gears. One last time. Can James Dean outdo Shanahan? Look at Dean! Runs through the inside of the corner. Dives through the smoke and makes a big dive onto Shanahan's door, and he's right there! James Dean pushing Jack Shanahan.
Yeah.
As they transition to the wall, one last time, door to door, wheel to wheel, the best in the world. Mondello, make some noise.
In the past, Dave, we've called it master versus apprentice. It's master versus master. You will go nowhere and see battles like that. Incredible stuff. Look at this. Not the same proximity from James Dean at the start, but he reels Jack Shanahan in and gets on the door. A battle that will go down in the history books. Two masters at work. Incredible stuff from both drivers.
You know what? Forget it. Standing ovation from the grandstand. Give it up for Jack Shanahan and James Dean. Grandstand, make some noise. Give them the ovation they deserve. And will we have a decision from the judges? If we do, I'm making my way down onto the track. I hope you guys do too. And we're going to announce the winner of the final round. So is it a decision or is it a one more run? The scores are in. And I can say that there's a decision. But it's a one more run! We're going at it again! It's one run until we're done. Dean and Shanahan get back in the driver's seat. We're deciding this one. It's a one more run, and they got to do it on the same tires. And James Dean has chosen to chase in the final. Put your suits back on, boys. This one isn't done yet. Guys, before they get back to the line, give them a big wall of sound from the grandstand. Eddie, I can't anymore. Can we go to the judges? Talk us through it, guys. The balance there. Obviously, we couldn't give the decision halfway through. But what I want to know is, how close was that?
Right, that was an insanely close run. both lead runs were mirror of each other. Absolutely, both drivers on the qualifying line like they've been doing all day. Really comes down to the first corner. On initiation, Jack was absolutely glued to James's door. I've never seen anybody as close in my entire days of drifting. I'd say there was inches between them all the way to clip 3. From there on, Jack got a little bit caught out, and he did have to cut the track to get back onto James's door. He missed at clipping point 4. So up until that point, I had an 8-2 advantage to Jack. Because he had to cut 4 to get back onto James's door, I brought that back to a 7-3. Rest of the run then, he maintained that 7-3, maintaining that proximity the whole way throughout. Fantastic chase run. James, on the other hand, he was absolutely on Jack's door again, but definitely didn't have the proximity on the first corner. So up clip 1, 2, 3, James had a 7-3 advantage. He didn't have to make as much of a dive coming past clipping point 4, but he still slightly missed clipping point 4 to maintain that proximity with Jack. James was absolutely on Jack's door for the rest of the run, maintaining that 7-3 advantage the whole way throughout, and then it finished up with a 7-3. So both runs equaling out a 7-3 overall. We had to see him go one more run.
Yeah, and an important statistic to throw in there, Eddie. Since the one more run system has been used this year at BDC and IDC, 50% of the lead cars and 50% of the chase cars have won a battle. Dead even. So there is no advantage or disadvantage, but in James Dean's condition and the way he's driving today, Jack Shanahan has got to get up and go here. It's the last run of the IDC calendar. We've given you it all. Do you think this was the best IDC final ever? Who thinks this was the best IDC event ever?
They are on the way. Shanahan off the line. James Dean to give chase. Down the stretch they come side by side. They throw it into the first corner. Dean is all over Kiley. But Shanahan is on a really strong line here.
As they take it around Mobile one corner, Dean now hand out the window from Jack Shanahan. It's all about friendship. It's about fun. Forget moaning and groaning. Get out there and shred some tires. These guys just shut the place down. It's all over for IDC 2017. And the scores are going to be close. Dean making some mistakes, Shanahan making some mistakes. We are going to the track. You guys can come down to the track. We're handing out some trophies. Thank you so much from everybody here in the tower. I'm going to hand you back to Ian and Eddie as I head down in front of that grandstand. A pleasure working with everybody this year. We're done. We're finished. Let's hand out some trophies. What a day, Eddie. What an event.
Yeah, what a day. What an event. What a season. And you know what? Dave, a big thank you even just to yourself. You've put some astonishing work into getting this series where it is, and you know, we can count ourselves lucky that we have the talent, but they've been given the platform to perform. And Ian, you're taking a step back in. You watched that the last few battles. There was no point in sending you down to the car and having you miss that one. You sat here in front of us in the tower. From a viewer's point of view, wow.
Just unbelievable, Eddie. I mean, I have seen drifting here before at Mondello Park, but I have never seen it on that level. That was just phenomenal. That was world-class driving. And you know what, as a spectator, to sit right here in the tower and get the best seat in the house, it was breathtaking. Those guys were literally inches from each other on transitions. It was the best drifting I have ever seen, hands down.
Yeah, look, you know, my mind is just exhausted. We've had the most incredible top 32, top 16, top 8 Final Four, and look, for Shannon and Dean to meet in the final and go one more run, you just couldn't ask for a better conclusion and finale to the 2017 championship. We have been spoiled all year long, and that just took the biscuit.
Yeah, I mean, we've been to some of the best locations in Ireland as well. Dunleary was just an insane track on the docks, in the Nyon in the sea. I mean, just unbelievable. Watergrass Hill, the Drift GP round, this just the whole year of IDC has been phenomenal, and it's been a credit to what Dave Egan and the team behind the scenes do, because you know what, I don't think there's anybody out there that could challenge what these guys do.
And before we hand over to David Egan, we just want to say a big thank you to all of our fans watching around the world on our live stream, all of you who made the trip to Mondello Park here this weekend for JapFest, and of course to our sponsors who have helped us to no end all the way through the season. Stone Motorsport, Origin Labo, Achilles Radial, Westlake Tyres, MixGarage.com, Brian James Trailers, Zestino Tyres UK, JDM Distro, VP Racing Fuels, Samco Sport, the Detailing Shed, Monster Energy and Link Engine Management. It has been a pleasure working alongside you guys all season. But with that, we are ready to hand it over to Dave Egan for our final podium ceremony of the year.
Thanks, guys. We're down trackside. It's the last set of trophies for the year. Before we give them out, guys, give these 4 warriors a huge round of applause. You know what, Mondello? You can do better than that. Make some noise! And firstly, I can announce, taking 3rd position on the podium, will you please make some noise for Tomas Kiley? Do it for 4th place, Mikey Fitz. And this was the big one. 2 legends of Irish drifting already paved in stone. One a 2-time UK champion, a 1-time Irish champion, the other a 4-time European and 4-time Irish champion. They're making a name for themselves across the world. So before we even tell you there is no losers here, give them a huge round of applause for James Dean and Jack Shanahan. But I can announce they're taking 2nd position on the podium. Please give it up for Jack Shanahan! And your 2017 Irish Drift Champion! But this may be the first of many wins for him across the world, but it's always special here in Mondello. And in 3 weeks he goes for the big prize in Formula Drift, but for now, he has won one of the most stacked events in Irish Drift history. Give it up for the machine, James Dean! That is all from us at IDC 2017. Thank you to the fans, the sponsors, the media, the drivers, everybody that made it happen. Give it up one more time for Tomas Kiley in 3rd, Jack Shanahan in 2nd, and your winner, James Dean! That is all from us in the tower. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for coming to all the events this year. We'll see you guys in 2018. One more time, Mondello, make some noise!